Tania Talks. Today I'm going to share with you the one thing that you should focus on while house hunting. So this is whether you are a brand new first-time home buyer, whether you're a move-up buyer, a downsizing buyer, looking for an investment property, any sort of home buying that you're ready to do, we're calling on you. So join me, grab a cup of coffee or water, notepad and pen, and let's go. Do me a favor. Let me know whether you're joining live or if you are catching the replay. Either way, I greatly appreciate you joining. And if you may not be in the spot of looking for a new home, but you have a friend or somebody who may be, tag them down below or forward this to them so they can have this knowledge as well. And if you stick with me to the end or comment anytime you're watching this, I've got some guides that I'd love to offer for you guys to have for free. So comment below or DM me directly and let me know which of the guides, we'll talk about that at the end, you might be interested in. Okay, so if you're about to become a homeowner, again, whether this is your first home or your second or fourth home, it doesn't matter. Congratulations, because that is usually our biggest investment. So there's a lot that goes into it, and I'm hoping to give you some laser focus once you start the process. So one of the main things that we have come to realize after doing this for many years and working with many buyers over the years is that we kind of lose sight of what our original intention was to move. And one of the first things I do when I meet with my new buyers is I sit down and do what I call a buyer consultation. So I make them as a homeowner exercise, home buyer exercise. I make them write down on a sheet of paper their must-haves. Absolutely will not buy a house unless it has these items. And then equally, I make them think about the things that are a complete deal breaker. Now, deal breakers could be a location, a school, it could be something that's in the backyard, it could be a steep driveway. So I just want you to write everything down, and then I have you circle your top 3 on each of the sides, the absolute must-haves, and then we include some dreams and wants that would be great to have if, you know, an extra, like a finished basement, but it's not a deal breaker. And then we kind of circle back to that as we go through each property. But I find a lot of times when we're house hunting, we lose sight of what we initially were looking for. So going through that exercise is a really important part of it. And so the main thing that you need to focus on is, well, I'll give you 3, but they are all things that you cannot change. The first one is location. So where the house is itself, maybe it is backed up to a lake and you absolutely love the water feature, but I'll tell you, I just had a house that was the perfect house for this buyer, but she happens to be terrified of snakes. So any sort of body of water was a deal breaker for her, whether it was a pond, a lake, a stream, a river, it doesn't matter. And there was a babbling brook in the distance behind, and when you open the back deck doors and you listen to it, it was fabulous. I just thought it was so tranquil and gorgeous. Total deal breaker for her. So know that location is super important because there's nothing we can do. We can't move the river that's behind her. So make sure location, as great as it is, that you can't make any changes to that. So where the house sits itself within the community, the subdivision, to its neighbors, to the topography, what's around it, power lines, can't change that. Maybe you look and see the neighbors. You don't like the neighbors that are nearby. Maybe they don't take care of their yard. Maybe they're hoarders. You know, there's all kinds of things that can happen that you just may not want to live next to. So drive by and make sure. The other thing to think about is not just where the home itself is located, but that community, that subdivision. What is it near? So think about your lifestyle. Are you somebody who's really active and loves to go for bike rides and walk trails, and you really want to be near parks? Well, make sure that you have the parks nearby. Like here in Roswell, we have Roswell area parks that are all over, and we've got these trails. We've got trails over here at Lita Thompson Park, which is right near my house. My subdivision actually has a back entrance into it. So maybe that's something that you're looking for. Maybe you're a big cook and you want to be near all the great grocery stores, maybe the special Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and fresh markets. That's really important for you to be nearby. So drive around and see how long it takes you to get to those things that are important to you. Maybe you're a big foodie and you like restaurants. You like to go out and eat. So make sure that you've got enough choices nearby, coffee shops, Starbucks, whatever it is that's important to you, that are right there in your community. That location works for you. Okay, then think about the layout. So we cannot change where the house sits. We cannot change the layout. I mean, we can. Technically, we can go in and remove walls. We can create the own layout that you're looking for, but it's going to cost money. And I only recommend that if you buy really low, or if you happen to be getting a home and planning on staying in it for many years for the future. So you have time for that appreciation to set in. So think about the actual flow of the house, how it works. Are you somebody that likes the open floor plan concept where the kitchen is open to like a family room where you can entertain and have everybody in one great big open space? Or maybe you happen to be a really messy cook and you want the kitchen completely closed off from where you're going to entertain guests and family members, or you don't want to see that mess while you're snuggling up watching a movie on Netflix, and you don't want to be looking in the kitchen. So know your lifestyle, know how you're going to use the space, and see how that flow is going to work for you. Do you need a bedroom on the main? Maybe you've got aging parents that come to visit and you need them on the main level. Maybe you need the master on the main. Maybe it's for you. Maybe you just had surgery, or maybe going up and downstairs is something you don't want. Maybe you've got young kids and you don't want to be on a different floor from the kids, so you do not want a master on the main. You want everybody's bedroom to be upstairs. So think about the flow, the things that are really, really important to you, the layout that you can't change easily. Right? You can change the kitchen countertops. You can change the floor, the wall color, paint, wallpaper. All those things are super easy to do down the road. You don't have to do them right away, but think about that, because the layout could be prohibitive to the way you want to use the house and live. Okay, now square footage. Let's go back to think of the main reason you were looking to get this new home. What was the reason? Were you looking for more space than you currently have? Maybe it's the same space, but just laid out differently. Maybe you need that third bedroom or that fourth bedroom to use as a home office or for a guest room. So the space is fine if the rooms are a little smaller. You just need more of them, more rooms. Or maybe you need that much more square footage. Maybe your family size is growing and changing. So whatever the reason is, if it was to get more square footage or less square footage, make sure that you actually compare that, because I find that oftentimes we walk into these houses and we get totally blindsided and enamored by all of the wonderful upgrades and remodeling they've done, or maybe it's their furnishings. A lot of times we walk in and the clients are like, I want everything in this house. This buyer wants to have the ladies' couches, their paintings. I mean, everything has been decorated perfectly. In fact, we just went to a house like that, but the yard was a total deal breaker. It was just the tiniest little thing, and that's not what they wanted. They needed a bigger yard for the dog that they have and for future kids that they're planning on having. So it was a total deal breaker. But the furniture is not what stays with the house. I mean, sometimes that's negotiable. Everything is negotiable, but most of the times the furniture is something that leaves, so that's not what you get with the house, and you need to really look at the structure of the house, the layout, the square footage, because yes, you can do an addition, but you have to have the money set aside to do something like that. And again, you want to make sure you're going to be in the house long enough to be able to have that appreciation show through, or that you bought low enough to be able to see that right away if you're going to turn around and sell it. So that's it. To recap, I mean, the number one thing you need to focus on are the things that you cannot change, which are location, layout, and square footage. And again, you can change a lot of those things other than location, but it's going to cost money. And those are things you only want to do if you're going to be in there long term or bought low enough to see the value right away. So anyway, thank you so much for spending some time with me on another episode of Tania Talks. I hope you found this valuable. My mission is to help make the buying process and the selling process so much easier for you, so that you are educated along the way to be able to be empowered to make really informed and smart decisions, whether you're buying or selling. So thanks again for watching. And again, if you would like one of my guides, let me show you. When I sit down with all of my buyers, I give them what I call House Hunting Can Be as Easy as Binge Watching Netflix. This is a great guide to really help jumpstart the whole process of when you're house hunting and what's important, to really focus you thinking about not just location and size, but really your absolute must-haves, your wants, your desires. If you're a first-time home buyer, I really encourage you to start with this, my first-time home buyer boot camp. It is a great things. It's got terminology. It's got what to expect in the process. Just some really great things that as a new buyer, you might not know what to do. And then I've got this, the blueprint. You can get your free guide for this. The blueprint for a seamless home buying process. So if any one of these 3 guides would be something you're interested in, you can comment down below, or you can message me privately and give me your email address that you'd prefer me to send this to, okay? Thanks again for joining. And again, whether you're watching the replay or live, I greatly appreciate you. And share this with anybody you know that might be looking to make a move. May not be you, but your friend will thank you. Thanks again for watching. Take care.